Hey witches, how you doing today? We're back with another video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Taya, and today we are going to do the first 5 days of the 28-day witchy restart challenge. This one right here was put out by Jasmine Ambrosia for the month of February. And yeah, we're gonna go through the first 5 days. Day 5 is technically tomorrow on Sunday, but I already know what I'm doing, so I thought we'll just go through that real quick and do the first 5 days. I think Saturdays in February are gonna be like my sort of, it's almost like a vlog of here's what I did all week working through with this challenge. So let's get started. Day 1 is practice some divination for the 28 days ahead. Entertainingly enough, this is Jasmine Ambrosia's challenge, and I actually did a year ahead spread, also put out by Jasmine Ambrosia. When it comes to all of my divinatory needs, she is very good at keeping me covered. So this was her year ahead spread, and we are going to work with the year card, my personal year card, and the card I drew for February, along with my word of the year, to kind of get a picture of what's going to happen, what's going to be going on for the month of February. So this was my actual spread. I have the cards, but this is the actual spread. I'm type A. I go through, I make out a pretty sheet for the whole entire year. I also have it done on like where I've taken notes and stuff. That's how I work that. And the card of the year is the Chariot. This is from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. The card, my personal card of the year is the Hanged One. And my card for February was the Eight of Pentacles. So, oh, and my word of the year, which I'm also using in this, is embrace. Terrible. This is just awful. It's kind of embarrassing to have to show it, but I did it. I put my word of the year on a paper and made it fancy with some stickers, and it's about embracing. So to start with the word of the year, embrace. It's about, I've had a few very big years of building and growth, and this is my year. 2023 is my year to embrace all of these opportunities and paths that I've laid for myself. It's not so much about growing and taking on more. It's more about growing into this sort of structure that I've created around my witchcraft in my life. I started a guild, I started a study group, started studying tradition, then started a study group, started a guild. So I'm quite busy with a lot of like, plus my personal practice. So I want to take this year to sort of grow into those opportunities, right? Like I still feel a little frazzled every month with like all the things on the calendar, and it's like I want to grow into that and I want to get comfortable in that schedule. So that's where the embrace comes in. Now, interestingly enough, so the card of the year is the Chariot. The Chariot stands for ready for adventure, be the boss and get shit done. Put on your badass leather jacket, which I so relate to with this card. She's wearing this really cool leather jacket. I do that. I have this black leather jacket that was like custom made for me in Argentina. Whole long story. I absolutely adore it. And when I put it on, I feel badass and ready to get shit done. I feel a little bit witchy. And so, yeah, that's definitely that vibe is in this card. And you are confident and powerful. So, great energy for the year. And then interestingly, my personal card being the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man, this is really a card about the calm after the storm, being meditative, slowing down, embracing your spirituality, embracing who you are. And I think it's really interesting because it tempers the go, go, go of the Chariot is tempered by the Hanged Man. And it really, to me, speaks to this idea of embrace. You have all these opportunities. You're like, go, go, go. You've got this all created, but like, just chill, relax, find your space within those opportunities. embrace what life has to show you. So I'm just looking at my notes. Step into / show up for the life you have created, but show up with like that big boss attitude, but don't forget to like, you know, take it easy, grow into it. I love it. So that is the year as a whole, and how the year card, my personal year card, and my word of the year, embrace, all sort of work together. Now we need to take that energy and build it into February. So what is February? February is the 8 of Pentacles, which is working hard, lining up your life. Like you see how the character here, she's actually got like, she's creating pentacles and then duplicating them and then lining them all up, like lining up your life, getting all your, you know, getting all your T's crossed and your I's dotted. It's also like the 8s of Pentacles are just about education and engagement. And to me, engagement, it's like embracing the setup. So working hard, but my February isn't about working hard on new avenues. It's like working hard at what you've already established, embracing what you've got. And I think it's really interesting because January was the Magician, which is really about letting inspiration flow and making your dreams a reality. And it was like this kind of like magical kickoff to January, but now we're in February. Now the real work begins, and it's time to really, you know, buckle down and do the work within this sort of structure. Embrace this kind of lifestyle that I've created. Interestingly, August shows up as the 9 of Pentacles. So I look at it a little bit too as what I am, the foundations that I am, the hard work I'm laying down in February is going to lead to some type of a harvest, enjoying the fruits of my labor come August, which is interesting, right? It's almost like that timeline of like, if you just sort of buckle down and do the work now, you're gonna, you know, use all these other cards I've pulled in other months to grow into reaping the rewards of this in August. So yeah, that is my kind of month ahead reading. Not pulling new cards, but working with my Wheel of the Year spread to interpret sort of on a month by month basis. So that was day 1, practicing some divination. That's what we did. Day 2 is celebrating Imbolc, honoring the shifting of winter into spring. So I actually have my group Imbolc ritual is tomorrow on February 5th. But in order to get ready for it, I had to do some witchy creating. So first I made this incense. This is, in our tradition, it's a special Imbolc incense, and it has all kinds of lovely things in it. But like cinnamon and lavender and blackberry leaves. I think it was blackberry. I substituted Saskatoon berry leaves because I have a Saskatoon bush that grows in my backyard, to which I have, you know, instant access of these kind of leaves. It's a fruit-bearing tree. It has those dark purple berries as well. It's got barley in it. It's got myrrh, pine resin. It's a really yummy smell. If you are at all interested in making your own incenses, like loose incense is a trip. It is something that I was never really into. I didn't really get loose incense, and now I'm like, OMG, amazing. Love the stuff. The other thing I did, because it is Imbolc, which is also Candlemas, which is about sort of the returning light and making and blessing your candles for the year, I made a candle to be used in our ritual tomorrow. You can see it's got some rose petals and willow bark in it for some special correspondences we're working with, and it's purple, and it's this pillar candle, and it turned out so nice. Like, look, it's kind of like shiny. You can see where there's like fingerprints on it, but I love, like, this turned out better than I could have imagined. I did use a mold. One tip, pours this way, so you can see you get that dip in the bottom, and sometimes people will just fill this, but I find it always just never sets nicely. So when I pull it out of the mold, I just flip it the other way around. So I have that nice finished top, and then the bottom the recessed part is just the bottom, because we're going to burn this down in our ritual tomorrow. So I made a candle I've been trying to get a little more crafty with my witchcraft. So yeah, that was kind of fun. So that was my preparations for Imbolc, which is actually happening for me on the 5th. Day 3 says, create a home protection ward. So I'll be honest, I didn't create a home protection ward, but I did go through the wards I have and sort of review and refresh any that needed it. And I just thought I'd share with you one of my favorite home protection wards, which is rowan berries on red thread. You can see I've just got like red thread here. These lovely rowan berries. So you can actually wear that. You could wear this ritually as like a necklace of protection. You can also just, I hang this in my window, the window right behind me over my my altar. I just hang this right up, and it's a lovely little protective garland, sort of, right? I've got these on a number of windows in my home, and it's rowan berry and red thread. It's kind of an old folk charm. So then we move on to day 4, cleanse yourself in your home. So I'll be doing this tomorrow to cleanse the area where we'll be having our Imbolc ritual here in my home. So I'm going to spend some time doing that tomorrow. And I thought I'd share with you sort of my method. So again, I have a loose incense that I've created. It has all kinds of lovely ingredients. It's kind of a throwback to my Scots ancestry and the process of seining, which typically happens right in like Scottish culture. I'm not going to say that I'm seining per se. There's specific things that go into that, but I made this lovely cleansing incense, cleansing and blessing basically, and in it is Scots pine needles and bark, thistle leaf and flower, rowan berries, juniper needles, and some frankincense. And what I do is I just put it on like a charcoal burner. I have a little cauldron, and I waft that incense around. And I have a little charm that I wrote that I say. It's based on one I found on the internet. So what I'll typically do is I go on the internet and I find something that's kind of along the lines of what I'm looking for. And then I go through and I actually like change it up a bit. I add a little bit more to it, maybe change up some of the lines to like the rhyme and meter. I'm really particular about rhyme and meter, make sure it's a little steadier, etc. And come up with something of my own that's kind of inspired by something I found on the internet. So this one goes, and this is what I say kind of in each room as I'm smoking around. Here I smoke a fire bright, horned grace within its light. Burn away the ill intent, consecrate with blessings sent. Seal all openings to ill, windows, mirrors, and their ilk, upon the ceiling and the floor, on every wall and every door. So that was a little chant I came up with, an incantation, if you will, that I do as I do my cleansing and blessing around the house. So I will be doing that in my, at least in my sort of my dining room area tomorrow, because I will have people coming over to celebrate this ritual. And finally, it says for tomorrow, February 5th, which is actually the full moon. It says do a full moon ceremony. And what I will be doing with my group as part of our Imbolc ritual is actually creating an evocation jar. So this here is an evocation jar. This is the one for September. And basically every month we have different allies that we work with in our tradition. And I create these evocation jars. So what it is it's a way to help evoke the monthly spirits that we work with. And I put in all kinds of little things. So this is one from September. So you can see there's a little bit of, there's acorns. There's, what is that little green stone called? Very common. It's about prosperity. Little rowan berries. I've got some pictures. I've got some strawberry leaf. I've got like a horse chestnut. Different things to pull in the same energies and the actual entities themselves, so that you can kind of open this jar as you say sort of your incantation to evoke these spirit allies into your workings. I create them on the full moon, and then I charge them by the full moon. So they also contain the full moon energies for that month. So I will be making one here for February. You can see a little different. The one from September has green mossy in the bottom, and this one has this kind of gray moss in the bottom because we're in the dark half of the year, so it's like more like a dead moss. And yeah, we'll create one for February. We will do that ritually as a group tomorrow. And I haven't pulled all the correspondences and put it all together yet. That's a project for later today or tomorrow morning. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for the full moon portion of our ritual, although the bulk of it will be about Imbolc and celebrating this time of year, this season of year. We'll be doing some scrying. No, not scrying. Sorry. We'll be doing some seething. That's what I'm looking for. Some seething, right? Which is sort of about raising energy, getting into a different headspace. And then it's called the uneasy seat, where you sort of sit back and you're a little, almost still a little off kilter from doing the seething and raising up of this energy. And you sit back and then you sort of exist in that other space and listen for messages. So we're going to be doing that as a group tomorrow. Not sure yet. It's supposed to be like 3 degrees here tomorrow, 3 degrees above freezing. So we could be outside in the backyard with a campfire, or we might be sitting around the kitchen table. I'll leave that up to group consensus. So we'll see what happens. But I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really a really interesting evening, right? Just getting together with some friends and doing some full moon work, doing some Imbolc rituals, and we're gonna have like a potluck, and yeah, we're just gonna hang out and just spend some time together. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that is the first 5 days of the 28-day Witchy Restart Challenge. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's what I've been doing this week. We'll see you again next Saturday for the next week's worth of activities. It'll be a little bit more because we'll have a full 7 days next time. So yeah, that's our video for today. Did you do anything special this week? Anything particularly witchy? Yeah, it was just Imbolc. We've got the full moon tomorrow, so I'm sure you've all got something on the go. I'd love to know what it was, what it is. Drop a comment below. Let's chat. And otherwise, yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much, you guys.